Welcome back to Leah's Adventures or Leah's Lifestyle, whether you're here with me on Twitch or with me on YouTube. I guess that just depends. Today we are going to watch another Rule 1 video, and we're going to watch a diversified portfolio for 2024, just to kind of get an understanding of what people are perceiving that as now these days. And then if like an hour has gone by, then we'll move on to something else. But if not, we'll look up some more videos and we'll learn some more stuff. Probably research a little bit about the Japanese economy and IRAs. Hello, Toffee. Ready to get started. Start watching these videos and educating ourselves on the U.S. economy and how things work here and how to invest. You know what I mean? Okay, is this up loud enough? I don't know. I guess we're about, I think so, yeah. Alright, so, like last time, after this is all over and done with, and I've posted and highlighted them, you will find the links down below. So, if you want to watch these videos for yourself, you can find them there. Bye, Toffee! Have a good day.
I'm from Rule 1 Investing, and I want to talk to you today about something pretty important. You know, we get a lot of questions around what should I do if I don't basically have any money to invest? What do I do if I only have $1,000 bucks?
Is it worth it to begin investing if all I have is $1,000?
I feel like, yeah.
Should I wait until I have more money saved, or just jump in?
Okay, I appreciate the lurk. Alright, so, investing... Oh, that's a colored pen. I want my black one. Investing your first 1,000. That's what I'm going to write down, just so I have like a marker.
So, I think the answer is that you're missing a piece of information. It's not about jumping in with $1,000 bucks. It's not about saving more money so you have more money to jump in with later. It's about recognizing that nobody in your life has ever taught you how to invest well. There's nobody in your life who's ever made a lot of money, probably. I mean, certainly in my case, I had no one in my life.
You know what's so funny about that is I did have people in my life that made a lot of money, but none of them that were interested in showing me or teaching me or being around me or hanging out with me. And like the people that I did like meet that had more money, that had a decent amount of money, that wanted to meet and hang out with me, like I needed to be a part of their MLM. So you know, I'm sure they still would have talked to me outside of that, but some other stuff happened.
Who could tell me how you go about actually investing money. And so I'm going to tell you guys something really important here, I think, that you need to know. That you should think seriously about joining an extended family of people who do know how to invest properly and who are making millions of dollars for 85 years.
I wonder what he means by that, because, like, is he saying, like, you should become so close to a group of people who are financially wealthy that they're going to show you how to do what they're doing? Or is he saying, like, find people like him who write books and, like, other people who are really, really, really famous? Like, because, like, I don't know how likely it is for people to find, like, true caring families of people who want to invite you into their family that are rich. I think most people think you're using them, but you kind of are, right? Like, anyways.
Those families, the Rule 1 family or the Ruler family, Warren Buffett is the #1 uncle in the family.
Okay, he does mean, like, pick out the people that have actually made it from nothing and, like, learn about them. Learn, you know, who they are, where they come from, how they get there, what did they learn, learn what they learned.
Uncle Warren has been trying to teach us proper investing now for about 50 years. And every single year,
I'm going to write down a question, and the question is going to be, who is your investment family? And then I'm going to write 5 numbers. 6. I like even numbers more. And then I think a good question would be, who are you putting in there? These are going to be the people that you are going to research and really get to know. I've kind of just been randomly doing it, but I really am liking the idea right now of concentrating on a very specific people, so that way you don't get too pulled into into multiple directions, and it kind of makes more sense for you. So I would take some time to figure that out. I'll probably do that on my own for myself. Some people that come to mind are Phil Town and Warren Buffett, and there's somebody else that I'm trying to think of right now. I don't know if I wrote down his name or not. I don't think I have. I think it's somewhere else. But I'll talk a lot about them. I found my notes. My notes are around here somewhere. And I'll find the names of the people that I was researching. I think there's like 4 of them. So I'm going to need a couple more. But I think 6 is a good number.
Uncle Warren goes out and writes a letter to us, all of the rest of the people in the family, about the best way to invest. And there's 40-some years of these letters stacked up online. You can start your education right there with just reading what Uncle Warren had to say.
He makes it seem really simplistic, but I looked into these letters, and they are some detailed motherfucking letters. Like, hot damn, this man wrote some intense, detailed letters. And I have been encouraged already, over this year that I've been learning, to read those letters. And I've tried twice, and they are thick. So I'm going to pass along it, but I just a warning with it that it is difficult, and I think it's going to you're going to have to try and make multiple passes at them. And I think the point is you know enough when you can understand his letters. That's how I'm perceiving it. Because really good, really, really successful investors rave about those letters. So I think once you can understand Warren Buffett's letters, you're somewhere. But I don't think you need to be there to be able to invest.
Just go Google Warren Buffett annual letters, and there is a treasure trove of investing information there. Now, the other thing you could do is
just because it's here, not for any particular person or anything, there is talking about the letters, he has a little thing here. So I'm just going to leave a note for myself and say letters Warren Buffett. And this will just help me remember so I can keep going back to them. And if you don't want to go look and find the video down below, it's www.berkshire, BERKSHIRE, Hathaway, HATHAW.com/letters, LETTERS, /letters, LETTERS.html. That's where you can find them. Okay, let's continue.
To read some of the books these other uncles wrote, right? Uncle Manesh Prabrai is one of the best investors in the world.
Okay, we got a new name, another name. We gotta remember these people. Gotta know what they did, how they did it. Okay, people to know, I have Benjamin Graham on here, David Dodd, Warren Buffett, but I think I just put him on there because he's just someone you should get to know, and I've been slowly getting to know him. Mohnish Pabrai, it's Mohnish Pabria. Okay.
He's managing $1 billion, and he wrote a book called The Dondo Investor, which is how you start with a very small amount of money.
And I think this would be a book list. Okay. The Donho, DHANDHO investor.
Properly and grow it by great long-term investing strategies that the Patel family made famous. The Patel family started in America with almost no money, and today, 40 years later, they have 40% of the hotels in America that they own. So,
that's the hotel owner.
Money, it's about the knowledge. Another one I can.
Very interesting story. I heard the story about this guy. I didn't know his name because the person who told me didn't remember his name either. He just remembered the story about this guy who got into investing in hotels, and no one believed in him, and it was really hard in the beginning, and they almost failed, but now is the largest owner of hotels. I think that's this guy, Mohnish Pabria.
Suggest to you is Uncle Guy Spear wrote a great book called
Guy Spear, another person, and another book that we're gonna put down. Guy Spear, Guyspier, and the book is The Education of a Value Investor.
An Education of a Value Investor. That is phenomenal, and you need to read that. He's written an entire book to teach you how to properly invest, whether you're starting with $1,000 or $1 million. And I wrote a couple of books. Both of them are New York Times #1 bestsellers, Rule Number 1 and Payback Time. And
I've read Payback Time, but we'll add it to the list since he's talking about it.
I'm trying to show you what I've learned over these 30 years in this tradition of this family that we call the Ruler family. So
the Ruler family,
cranking it up with $1,000, the first thing, the knowledge I need to do it right.
Where should I invest my money to maximize my return? Are there any other places I should invest money besides stocks if I'm starting with a lower amount?
Oh, that's very interesting. I think it's very, very interesting that that's the question that was picked. I don't know. I kind of, where should I invest my money to maximize return? The stock market. Where else is, you're gonna buy a house with your $1,000? I'm confused. I'm curious how he's gonna answer this question.
The key thing to understand is that we make money on our investment capital if we're buying wonderful businesses and we buy them on sale. And we make the money when we're certain that we have what we think we have. Charlie Munger says that there's basically 4 things you've got to focus on.
Okay.
Number 1, be sure you're capable.
Okay, he's giving us 4 things to focus on. Understand the business.
Number 2, be sure that this business has this.
Does it have a
moat? That it has some intrinsic characteristic built into the business itself, like railroad tracks are part of a railroad. Something deeply embedded in it that protects them from competition. Also, make sure that the management team are people who share your
values with
integrity,
management,
that they're talented. And finally, you can't pay an infinite amount of money for something. You have
buy it
to
on sale.
Buy it on sale. We call that a margin of safety.
I don't know if I want to write these down because this is in his book. We're going to go through these 4 things very, very in-depthly in his book. So I don't know if I want to write these down for notes because then, like, I'll come back to them, we'll go through them again, and we're already going to be reading the book. So, I think just hearing them for the first time is probably a good thing. 4 things to focus on. Understand the business. Does it have a moat? Do you share values with the management? And buy it on sale. He does teach you how to figure out to buy them on sale in the book.
Purchase price. So, how do you invest your money to maximize your return? Obviously, you buy $10 bills for $5, and you do it over and over and over again. We buy companies sometimes, and we get them for, let's say the company is originally $45, and then something happens that we call an event that we can understand. We can buy that company in the market for $15, and a year later it's back to 30 or 40 or 50. This is the best way. Now, I'm not saying.
Actually, you know why they say that? Because I read the book, right? So I kind of understand it. But the reason why they say wait for an event is because if you just wait for the price to go down, it doesn't mean that it's going to come back up. Like we read in the book so far, like there's been times when people kept buying into something, waiting for it to come up because the price is going down, but then it never came up. You have to wait for something to happen that causes it to drop, but the business is really well off and that it's not going anywhere and that the price is going to come back up and you're just waiting for that point. Essentially.
These returns are normal, okay? Let's get our feet on the ground. A great rate of return would be 15% a year. So you have to start thinking, okay, I'm starting with a very little money. I'm making 15%. If I'm doing really good, I'm making 25%. If I'm just killing it, I might be making 40%. You think about it, Warren Buffett was making 50% a year for several years, and he says that he could easily do that today with $1 million. So a lot harder to do it with 120 billion. So it's really not about the amount you're starting with. It's about the strategy you're using that's going to continue to grow that pile over time. And that's what we want to teach you guys.
Is the strategy for investing the same with a smaller amount of money as it is for a large?
Is the strategy for investing the same with a smaller amount of money? No. And also it depends on how much larger. Let's see what he says.
Okay, so when we start with a really small amount of money, I have to say that the strategy is actually pretty different. I'm gonna come off the storyline here a little bit and just tell you that it's actually pretty different when you're starting with a small amount of money. I mentioned that to our students that you should read a book by Manesh Prabrai. It's called The Dondo Investor, D-H-A-N-D-O.
Yeah, you already said that. We already got it.
The Patel family.
He's going to explain it now.
Hotel fortune. They own 40% of the
hotels
in America. And with one family member in America in the early 1960s, they started with like $10,000 and built that fortune.
I didn't realize it was this guy.
They knew they were starting with a small amount of money that if they lost it, they could replace it. So here's my answer. That in general, our investing strategy is always the same. Okay, it's always the same.
Don't lose money.
When we're starting with a small amount of money, we're going to be more aggressive. Because if we lose it, we can always go back and work for 2 or 3 years and earn it back, right? I mean, if you lose $5,000, it's a lot easier to replace it than if you lose $5 million. So we're going to start with a small amount of money.
He almost said harder. Did you hear that?
Aggressive investing. We're going to take a few chances that we might not have taken if we were working with a larger amount of money. So yeah, it's a little bit different. Remember, you guys, just like Buffett says.
You know what, though? I think the funny part about that is, like, the whole point of it is, like, not to lose money. Like, that is the goal. So the point is, like, taking, like, what he's saying these risks are is, like, they're because you're not affecting the, like, how much it's going to drop when you throw your money in. It might change a little bit, but, like, if you're throwing in millions of billions of dollars into the stock market, like, you're significantly going to affect how much something costs now, because your amount of money can do that. But yeah, like, I don't know, if you're barely putting in like 10 grand in the market each year, like, that's small pennies. That's small pennies. 50 even, I think, is small pennies. I think you'd have to hit into the millions or higher, like, 100,000s to be able to significantly impact the price range of the market value of something.
It comes from not knowing what you're doing, okay? So if you haven't seen any of my other videos about how to take control of your finances, get a grip on it, and then start investing and understanding the difference between investing and gambling or speculating, then take a look. So now, you guys, I'd love to hear from you. So answer this question down in the comments below. Have you ever held yourself back from beginning to invest because you were afraid? Because of fear?
Fuck yeah.
I mean, fear of
Fuck
either
yeah.
losing money or not having enough money to make any
That's
real
what
profit,
everyone...
so why bother?
Yeah. That's not... What kind of question is that? Everyone's going to say yes to that. Okay, so the next thing we have is... Okay, we have 2 videos to pick from that I'm looking at here. They're both recent. One has 621,000 views, and the other one has 47,000 views. So one is definitely more popular than the other guy. But this one says how to build an investing portfolio for beginners 2024, which is kind of, like a generic thing. I'm wanting to more understand diversity and about diversity. And this one has best 3 EFT portfolios to make you very rich, but I'm not really trying to do that. So maybe I should change my question.
Imagine you're at a farmer's market and you're hungry.
I am
You
hungry.
Just buy one apple, would you? You get a variety of fruits and vegetables to create a...
Is he comparing investing like buying food for your body? I don't know how well this is gonna go. Okay.
balanced and delicious meal. That's what diversification is all about in investing, not putting all your money in one place. In simple terms, diversification means spreading your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographical regions. Just like you wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, you shouldn't put all your investment capital into a single stock or bond. Think of it like this. If one investment performs poorly, the others can help cushion the blow. Diversification helps to reduce the overall risk in your portfolio, potentially leading to more stable returns over the long term. Remember, diversification is not about eliminating risk entirely. It's about managing it intelligently. By spreading your investments, you can better navigate the ups and downs of the market, aiming for a smoother financial...
But how? How are you, that's my question, if you're diversifying into everything, how are you able to maintain understanding how they're positively or negatively affecting your portfolio? Like, people talk about it, and I still just don't get it. I don't get diversifying. It just doesn't make sense to me, because, like, you're focusing on so many things and how they all work and function, like, how, like, each thing is affected differently. Like, you'd have to understand all of it, like, so fucking well. And I just don't, like, how are people doing that, you know? Like, they didn't used to use apps and stuff, so how are people doing that?
Let's say you invested all your money in a single company that makes flip phones back in the early 2000s. You might have seen great returns initially. But what happened when smartphones took over the market?
They crashed.
Your investment would have plummeted.
Yeah.
This is a classic example of why diversification matters. By spreading your investments, you're less likely to be wiped out by a...
But why are you being wiped out? I think that's, like, the other thing, right? Like, they plummeted, but, like, if you had everything in that, then wouldn't you be paying attention a lot to that? And as it's going up, and you'd be paying attention to the fact that there was new technology coming out, and so, like, you would start reinvesting all, like, the money from that one into, like, the new stuff at a lower price. Now that this stuff's at a higher price, you know, maybe sell half off and buy into the new stuff, and then maybe, like, as it's getting higher and higher, sell another half off, buy into the new stuff, and then, like, you know, if it drops, you sell all of it, like, right? I mean, I guess no one can know when that's going to be, but, like, you know where you bought your stock at, so you know as long as you buy above that, like, you're fine. You made something. So why are people holding in? Like, I think that's, like, diversifying makes it sound like people buy stocks and then just never sell or do anything with them. And I don't think that's the point of stocks, right? Like, the point of stocks is to buy and sell them. But you need to know when to buy and sell them. You buy low, you sell high. That makes sense. So why would people buy low and then never sell? How do you get your money? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something.
Single event or market downturn. As the old saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is your safety net, protecting your hard-earned money from the unpredictable nature of the market. It's about mitigating risk and ensuring a smoother investment journey. Over time, a diversified portfolio can help you weather the ups and downs of the market.
I don't know.
Let's explore some common asset classes for your portfolio.
Asset classes,
Ownership
okay.
in companies with high growth potential but higher volatility. Bonds. Loans to governments or corporations, less risky, steady income. Real estate.
But why would you need a steady income? I can understand for somebody who is older that you might want a steady income, right? Reliable. I don't know.
Residential or commercial properties, rental income, potential appreciation. Commodities. Raw materials like gold, oil, or agricultural products hedge against inflation. The right mix depends on your financial goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. Diversification is key. Section 4. Reaping the rewards benefits of a diversified portfolio.
My question is why is he saying that there's a risk tolerance? Risk tolerance is what you're able to lose and feel comfortable losing, but you're not losing anything as long as you don't sell the stock. So if it comes down but you know it's going to go back up, there's no need for a risk because you know it's going to go back up. It's only if you don't understand it that there's the risk, right?
Your investment portfolio offers a multitude of benefits. Like a well-balanced diet nourishes your body, a well-diversified portfolio contributes to your finances.
I just don't know if those are, like, compatible. I don't know if you can compare investing like feeding your body. I don't think they are the same thing. I just don't. I think this analogy is wrong. That's all I'm trying to say.
Financial health. Here's how. Reduced risk. By spreading your investments, you're less vulnerable to the ups and downs of any single asset class. Potential for enhanced returns. While diversification doesn't guarantee higher returns, it can potentially improve your overall performance by...
Okay, the only thing that diversifying can do is what he's saying is possibly, maybe, it's possible. What is the percentage? Like, do they have science and data behind how much this works? Because I need to know that. I need to know. I think that's a question I'm going to write in my little thing to look for next. The question is, I need to know the percentages of how effective diversifying is.
Gains from different sectors and asset classes, peace of mind. Knowing that your portfolio is well diversified can provide a sense of calm and confidence even during market fluctuations. Think of it this way. If one of your investments isn't performing well, others might be thriving, helping to offset potential losses. This balance is key to a healthy portfolio. Remember, diversification...
Okay, but like, you know what I'm realizing? I think he's talking about day to day. I think that's what he's talking about. I think he's talking like per day to day. Like this isn't like long haul stuff. Like he's not talking about, oh, over the last 2 years, like this one portfolio has been dropping. Like, no, he's talking like today your stock dropped 3%. But that's okay because there's another stock over here that's up 4%. So you're all good. And truthfully, from what I've learned, is like you should not be doing that. You should not be looking at your stock from day to day. You should be paying attention to it like throughout like the years. So if that's what he's talking about, this diversifying thing makes sense because he is more concerned about like what like the daily numbers look like. And so as long as they don't fluctuate too much overall, like then it's good. But what I'm looking for long term is an overall continuous like rate. Like I don't want to sell one stock because it dropped 4% from when I bought it, when in 4 months it's going to be 10% above. Like why would I do that? You know, just because like a few weeks after I got it, it was low. So I think I think that's where what.
Education is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires regular review and adjustments as your financial situation and market conditions change.
I knew it. How did I know that was coming?
Section 5. The perils of putting all your eggs in one basket.
The perils.
Imagine investing all your savings
Dun dun
in a stock only to have it
dun!
go bankrupt. It's a nightmare scenario, highlighting the dangers of not diversifying your investments. Over-reliance on one investment can jeopardize your financial well-being. Remember the adage? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's a simple yet profound piece of advice in investing. Diversification is key to a stable portfolio.
I think like another thing too is like he keeps talking about not putting all your eggs in one basket, but also like if you have one basket per egg, is that also what you should be doing? Because I feel like that is not what he's encouraging right now, but that is the opposite to this, you know, because it's not very specific. It's just saying have more than one basket, but it's not saying how many baskets to have, right?
Section 6. Start diversifying your financial future today. Diversification is not a luxury reserved for seasoned investors. It's a fundamental principle that everyone should embrace, regardless of their...
I don't know if I agree with that. If you don't understand what you're diversifying in, then how is that helpful? What if it brings down your portfolio even more? Because I think you should be seasoned before you start like diversifying a lot. Like maybe
age, income, or investment experience.
And also it does matter because like if you're investing in bonds at the age of 18, what is the point of that? What are you getting out of that? There's way better investments than that.
Don't wait for the right time to start diversifying. The best time to begin is now. Start by
and you invest based on where you're at in life. Because when you're younger, like you have like 10 years before it matters, you know? You have some room to play around and have fun. Like most teenagers and young adults do anyways and everything else in their life. But like you wouldn't give that advice to a 70-year-old man, right? But he's just saying it doesn't matter. Diversify.
Educating yourself. Learn about different asset classes and investment strategies. Seeking
I agree.
Professional advice. Consult with a financial advisor to determine the right diversification strategy for your unique circumstances. Taking a gradual approach. You don't have to diversify your entire portfolio overnight.
Thank you. I'm glad he said that.
Build a well-rounded mix of investments. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that first step today and embark on the path to a more secure and diversified financial future.
I don't know. I don't really like that video because he didn't really offer any books or anything, or any. And let me like look at his. Let's see here. What you'll learn. Yeah. He didn't tag any type of material that he used to receive this information. So we have no books we can go check out, no resources to look at. That kind of sucks, I would think. You know what? This happened yesterday too with the other random video that I looked at for research bond for treasury bonds. They didn't have any linked resources that they were looking at to receive this information or anything like that. I think that's a lost habit or a lost art, is linking your resources. Like why don't people do that anymore? Like if I'm reading a book, like I want to leave a way for people to go see what book I'm reading. If I'm watching a video, like I want to post. If I'm making a comment about something, I try to say where like if I heard it, if I watched it, where I did, who said it, when, about, what time. Like I want to like give some backhand to like the information that I'm giving out. So I think it's just interesting that these YouTube videos that are meant to educate people don't have any resources for the people to continue this. It's like, are you wanting them to rely solely on you? And doesn't that go against exactly what you were just saying? But whatever. Oh, floop. Okay. I think that's a good end to that. And that we can move on to the next thing. Which is, we're gonna research the people, actually. I already made a little list. I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, we were gonna work on, do I need 2 hours for doing that? Let's research people a little bit. Let's do at least a little googly Google. We'll do one Google of every person that we have on this list. And we'll just kind of read, like, real quick through these people, who they are. And then, what was the next thing on the list? Sorry. Oh, I was going to look into the devaluation of cars and how that functions. Okay, so one Google. Search. Okay, let's quickly go check these people out, just so we can see who they are. Benjamin Graham. An American financial analyst. Goodness. Died in 1976. Went to Columbia University. 1894. Born in London, England, UK. Married 3 times. Had kids. Cool. Investment and academic career. His first book, Security Analyst, which he co-authored with David Dodd, was published in 1934. In Security Analyst, he proposed a clear definition of investment that was distinguished from what he... Oh, this is the thing. Okay. From what he demanded speculation. He proposed a clear definition of investment that was distinguished from what he deemed speculation. It read, an investment operation is one which, upon through analysts, promises safety of principal and satisfactory return. Operations not meeting these requirements are speculative. Oh, okay. So investing is specifically knowing, doing the research and knowing what you're going to get out of it. And anything else is called speculation. You're speculating. Interesting. Benjamin Graham was a British-born American financial analyst, investor, and professor. He is widely known as the father of value investing and wrote 2 of the discipline founding texts. What are they? Security Analysts and The Intelligent Investor. I feel like maybe these are books we should write down. I think these are books that are worth looking into. I don't know if I've read either one of these. I feel like maybe I have, but maybe not. And these are going to be some older ones, so this is going to be like the backbone of like the beginning of investing. And I don't know if everyone needs to read these, but I just feel like it's kind of worth it. You know? It's like a part of our history, and I think it really kind of helps. It helps me understand how things kind of became how they are and how they function. Okay. His investment philosophy stressed independent thinking, emotional detachment, and careful security analysis, emphasizing the importance of distinguishing the price of a stock from the value of its underlying business. Very interesting. Okay. Let's look up somebody else now. I'll link their Wikipedias too, for everyone. Wikipedia! Okay. David Dodd. Why did I not have the V here? Okay, David. Born the 23rd of 1895, Berkeley County, West Virginia University. Died September 18, 1988. Portland, Maine, U.S. University of Pennsylvania, Columbia University. Elise Malger Flora was his wife. An American educator, financial analysis author, economist, and investor. In his student years, Dodd was a prestige and colleague of Benjamin Graham at Columbia Business School. The Wall Street crash of 1992, Black Tuesday. Let's see. Almost wiped out Graham, who had started teaching the year before at his alma mater, Columbia. The crash inspired Graham to search for a more conservative, safer way to invest. Graham agreed to teach with the stipulation that someone take notes. Dodd, then a young instructor in Columbia, volunteered. Those transcriptions served as the basis for 1934 book Security Analyst, which galvanized the concept of value investing. It is the longest running investment text ever published. Okay, so he's famous for doing the writing? From 1922 to 1925, Dodd was an instructor of economics at Columbia University. From 1925 to 1930, he became an instructor of finance. From 1926 to 1945, he was in charge of the business and economic courses. In 1930, he received a PhD from Columbia University. From 1930 to 1938, Dodd was an assistant professor there. From 1938 to 1947, an associate professor. From 1947 to 1961, a full professor. From 1948 to 1952, he was associated Associate Dean of the Columbia Business School in 1961. He retired as Professor Emeritus in Finance of Columbia University on May 17, 1984, on the 50th anniversary of publishing Security Analysis. Michael I. Sovereign, President of the Columbia University, awarded Dodd a Doctor of Letters, an honorary degree for applying financial theories with brilliant results in highly competitive world of investments. Okay, so he was mostly known just for writing. He was in the Navy, World War One. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, National Associates, NY's bank history. In 1928, he advised private clients on investing. An unregulated hedge fund. And a regulated investment trust formed in 1929. Interesting. Okay, cool. Next! Okay, Warren Buffett is, I'm sure some of you guys probably already know, but we will just go over him real fast anyways, because he's Warren Buffett. I feel like he's like the dad, that guy said, like the uncle of investing for this kind of stuff. I don't know why. Well, I guess like because he started it, right? It was like him and somebody else who started it. He's an American businessman, investor, philanthropist, who currently serves as the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. As a result of his investment success, Buffett is one of the best-known investors in the world. As of June 2024, he had a net worth of $135 billion, making him the 10th richest person in the world. Okay. I want to get to the good stuff. Let's see. He's a Democrat. Okay, let's see here. Early life and education, early business career. Buffett worked in 1951 to 1954 at his father's firm, Buffett Folk & Co., as an investment salesman from 1954 to 1956, at Graham Newman Corp. As a securities analyst from 1956 to 1969, at several investment partnerships at the general partner, and from 1972 as chairman and CEO of the Berkshire Hathaway. So since 1970, he's been the chairman. That's kind of cool, though. In 1998, Buffett acquired General Re as a subsidiary in a deal that presented difficulties. According to the Rational Walk investment website, underwriting standards proved to be inadequate, while a problematic derivatives book was resolved after numerous years of significant loss. Gen Re later provided reassurance after Buffett became involved with Marcy R. Greenberg at AIG in 2002. Interesting. In 2009, Buffett invested $2.6 million as part of a Swiss Re's campaign to raise equity capital. Berkshire Hathaway already owned a 3% stake with rights to own more than 20%. Also in 2009, Buffett acquired Burlington Northern Santa Fe Corp. What? No, he did not. Did he really? He bought BNSF? In 2009, he bought BNSF? For $34 billion. The key reason for the purchase was to diversify Berkshire Hathaway from the financial industry, measured by market capitalization in the Financial Times Global Berkshire Hathaway was the 18th largest corporation in the world as of June 2009. The merger of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway closed upon BNSF shareholder approval during Q1 of 2010. This deal was valued at approximately $44 billion, with $10 billion of outstanding BNSF debt, and represented an increase of the previous existing stake of 22%. In June 2010, Buffett defended the credit rating agency for their role in the U.S. financial crisis, claiming very, very few people could appreciate the bubble. That's the nature of bubbles. They're mass delusions. On March 18, 2011, Goldman Sachs was given Federal Reserve's approved to buy back Berkshire's preferred stock in Goldman. Buffett had been reluctant to give up the stock, which averaged 1.4 million in dividends per day, saying, "I'm going to be the Osama bin Laden of capitalism. I'm on my way to an unknown destination in Asia where I'm going to look for a cave. If the U.S. Army armed forces can't find Osama bin Laden in 10 years, let Goldman Sachs try to find me." This man is fucking petty! He's so petty! I love it. I'm eating it up. I didn't know it'd be so great. This is where the real tea is at. He fucking bought $3 billion, 3.8, almost $4 billion of BNSF stock. What, in 2010? Right after the crash in 2008? This man's insane. Man, I bet he got that on a good price, though. I bet he fucking ate that shit up. Fuck, man. Man, rich people are crazy. I guess you have to be, right? You gotta be, like, willing to fucking do some insane shit, like own a whole fucking railroad for no reason, even though you have no idea how it fucking functions. Maybe he does. But he doesn't seem like a man that would understand the railroad system. Maybe he's, like, perceiving it from, like... I guess if you understand the economy well enough, eventually it just doesn't matter, right? Okay. Manish Pabria is an Indian-American businessman, investor, and philanthropist. He was born in Bombay, Mumbai, India, on June 12, 1964. He is the founder and manager partner of Pembry Investment Funds, a value-oriented investment firm that manages over $1 billion in assets. Varnas. He has a beautiful wife who has now passed. That's sad. He went to Clemson University. Perma worked with Telabs between 1986 and 1991, first in its high school speed data network group, and then in 1989 joined its international subsidiary working in international marketing and sales. In 1991, he started his IT consulting and system integration company, Transtech Inc., with about US $30,000 from his own 401k accounts and US $70,000 from credit card debt. He sold the company in 2000 to Kurt Salmon Associates for $20 million. Today he is the managing partner of the Pembry Investment Funds, a family of hedge funds inspired by Buffett Partnerships, which he founded in 1999. What? Who are we talking to? Wait, who are we talking? Who are we talking? Are we talking? We don't have to talk. You don't have to talk. I talk. I talk plenty. I talk lots. Okay. Very interesting. That's cool though. I like it. Me gusta. Okay, let's see here. Guy Spear is the next one. Looks like he's gonna be an artist. He's gonna be a writer too. Guy Spear, born February 4th, 1966, is a Zurich-based investor. He is an author of The Education of a Value Investor. Is that the one that we have in here? Yeah, it is. Okay. Is the manager of the Aquamarine Fund with $400 million in assets. He is well known for bidding US $650,100 with Monarash Parbury for a charity lunch with Warren Buffett in 2008, and in 2009 he was featured in the Checklist Manifesto by Alta Gawande regarding his use of checklists as part of his investment process. He is the brother of Tanya Day Jagger and the grandson of Selmer Speer, the German-Israel jurist, historian, foreign correspondent, and farmer. Interesting. I wonder if we should read this book. The Checklist Manifesto. That sounds interesting. The Checklist Manifesto. Atulgawande. Atal Gwande. Okay. And last but not least on my list is Phil Town. Okay. Phil Bradley Town, born 21st September 1948, is an American investor, motivational speaker, and author of 3 books on financial investments, which are the New York Times bestsellers. In 2006, Town published his first book, Rule 1, The Simple Strategy for Successful Investing in Only 15 Minutes a Week, which was his handbook on making money quick. It appears on the New York Times bestseller list, as well as Business Week's bestseller list, and on USA Today's list of top business books. His second book, Payback Time, also reaches the New York Best Time seller list. That book explains the concept of stockpiling stocks for long-term high returns with low risk. Okay. Yeah, and we'll be learning more about him as things go on. So I think that's a good start. Okay, I think Sam. About right now I was just going through the people. Oh, that was the next thing I wanted to do. I had a list of things that I was going to look into today. The last thing that I wanted to look into today was researching a little bit about how devaluation of cars work. Which apparently I've looked into this before. That's hilarious. I would. Sorry. Sam! Yeah, well, the guy is apparently a great investor. We'll probably learn more about him, especially since there's a couple books that I'm going to read. Security Investing and The Intelligent Investor. So, just wanted to give a little quick Google, see who they are, check them out, I like to know who I'm reading. So for this is www.ramseysolutions.com/saving/car depreciation, and it says key takeaways. Car depreciation is how much your car was worth when you bought it versus what it's worth when you sell it. Clearly, car depreciation is affected by several things, including the number of miles on the car, fuel economy, Okay, that's important, and I read it, so I'm going to save it. But what I really want, some kind of statistics, car deal value, devaluation of car statistics. What? Dude, okay, so this thing here is called carspecs.org/depreciation. Car depreciation rates and curves by make and model. And then there's Acura, CL, Acura, and you click on each one. So car depreciation is going to be like really, really specific to your type of car. So like when you're buying a car and you're thinking about like getting a car and pricing and stuff, you need to get like what the car was originally, and then just like go and find its depreciation for the car, and then based on the car that you're trying to buy, what's okay with it, and then you will find if like the price for it is proper. That is more work for a car than I have ever done in my entire life. And I don't know, that's not a brag. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, like, I've never put that much effort into trying to buy a car. But it makes sense. It makes sense. That's a good way to know that you're not overpaying. It is. It is. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and scribble. What are some things you're researching and looking into? Tell me down below. Maybe I want to look into them too. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later. Bye!